So why don't we go ahead and get started? First off, welcome to all of you. We're thrilled to have you on board. So welcome to JSPC. On behalf of the whole school, we really look forward to getting the chance to meet and interact with all of you. So I am Garrett Lindquist. I'm the Dean, and I'm very pleased to be joined by my colleague, Professor Kanika, who I'll allow her to do her own introductions here in just a moment. She's an associate professor in the school. So to get us started, here's the plan for today is we're just going to go through and kind of review the curriculum with you. All right, give you an overview of what to expect over the next 3 years. Certainly this is not going to last a full hour. So we'll probably go a half hour or so, and then basically we'll just throw it open for questions. And you guys are welcome to ask anything that you may have at that point. All right, so anyway, just a little bit about myself. I joined JGU 3 years ago. I was initially in the School of Liberal Arts and Humanities, and then spent about 1.5 years, going on 2 years now. I was asked to start up this new School of Psychology and Counseling. And so I think most of you probably know we've just finished up our first academic year. And very pleased to say it's been a great first year. So we have some really excellent students. So as we move forward into year 2, we've hired a bunch of new faculty, including my colleague here, Dr. Deepak. And yeah, we're looking forward to bringing more students on board. So it should be great. Dr. Kanika, why don't you introduce yourself and then we'll move forward with the program.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this evening. I know it's a rainy day, it's a coffee time and a walk time, but great to see all of you still here. So I'm Kanika Malik. As Dean said, I'm an associate professor at General School of Psychology and Counseling. I've been associated with school for 1 year now. I've been teaching various subjects in psychology, but my main area of interest is clinical psychology and community mental health. In addition to teaching, I also lead the research committee in the school, which largely works on supporting research work and collaborations, both for teachers and students nationally as well as internationally. So I hope to talk to all of you a little more on 7 July, where we get to introduce a little more detail. But as of now, I hand it back over to you, Dean Derek.
Great, thank you. And if I heard correctly, I think you introduced yourself as an assistant professor.
No,
Kanika.
I hope I said associate. I'm so used to calling assistant.
I'd have misheard, but I thought it was assistant. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify that you are an associate.
Yes, I'm associate, finally.
Finally. All right, so again, we've got a few more that have joined, so welcome everybody. So to get us started, let me share my screen with y'all. And okay, so I think everybody should be able to see that. All right, so again, we're going to talk to you about the curriculum. So first, just a little background, and I know you're all new students, so I don't necessarily need to sell you on the university, but I hope you do recognize that OP Jindal is pretty new. It just came about in 2009, and it's already garnered, both national and international awards and accolades. So the Ministry of Education here in India has a designation called an Institution of Eminence. Only 10 of those countrywide, and JGU was actually designated Institution of Eminence in 2019. There's a very prestigious organization called the QS World University Rankings, who does, as its name implies, they rank universities around the world, and the vast majority of universities do participate. So JGU was actually ranked the #1 private university, again, just a few weeks ago, for the 3rd year in a row. So again, the university's really done well for itself. So when we started last August of 2021, we were the 10th school at OP Jindal. This year, we're actually adding in 2 more schools. So there will actually be a total of 12 when you begin this fall. So in terms of the curriculum, here's the overview that you need to be familiar with. So for our students to graduate after 3 years, right, to receive that BA honors degree, it requires a minimum of 148 credit points. So 142 are received in response to academic credits. This includes 18 core courses, which you'll take across all 6 semesters, 11 practicums, which you'll take across all 6 semesters, general elective courses, which will be done during your 2nd year, and track-specific courses, which are done during your final year. So all told, that is 142 academic credits. You'll also need to take 3 internships. Each of those is worth 2 credits, and that will result in 6 non-academic credits. So 142 plus 6, of course, is 148 that you need to graduate. So a little bit later in the summer, we're going to have a session specifically devoted to internships and international opportunities. So we'll really leave the discussion for that for later. But today, Kanika and the plan is we want to talk to you about these core courses, the practicums, and then the various elective courses that you'll be exposed to. So with that, I will turn it over to Professor Kanika, and she's going to talk to you about the core courses and practicums.
Thank you, Professor Derek. And I will just take a minute to upload my slides. I hope my slides are visible to everyone.
No, I don't see them yet. It says that you've started screen sharing. There we go. It just popped up.
Okay. So hi, everyone. So I think Professor Derek has just give you a brief overview about what our course looks like. So it's a combination of curriculum, which have core courses and elective courses. So if you go through our website, you will see this is the course structure looking like. There are 6 semesters spread across 3 years, and within each year we have multiple courses. Don't worry if this is too small. I'm going to take you year by year and semester by semester, telling you what will be the core courses that you will be reading. Before I go on to core and elective courses and what happened in JSPC, I thought let me clarify from my end what we mean by core and elective courses. So core are the compulsory courses, which mean every student who's enrolled in JSPC have to go through those courses and successfully complete for them to complete the program. In core courses, we have 2 types: theory courses, where you will be learning the theories, the paradigm behind various subdisciplines of the psychology, and practicum courses, which will give you some experience in applying these theories which you have learned through case materials, through experiments, through research, through public engagement. So one is theory part and other is more application skill-based part. Then we have elective courses. So elective courses are the courses where you can choose for. So it's not that all students have to go through same elective courses. From year 2 onwards, you will get a menu of courses where you can choose few electives based on your preference. And we have 2 types of electives: cross electives and track specific. So cross electives give you a chance to learn from other schools. So you can take an elective course in law school, in liberal arts school, in school of language. And track specific are school specific courses. So here you get to choose courses in psychology. So you want to do a course on happiness in psychology, you want to do a resilience, you want to do on behavior therapies for depression. So you have a lot of psychology courses where you will be able to choose. And Professor Derek will be soon talking about both the cross electives and track specific courses. I will be focusing on the core courses. So in year 1, this is what your core courses will look like. We have semester 1, which has 5 theory courses and 1 practicum course. So these are all compulsory. So everyone is supposed to successfully complete these 6 courses. In semester 2, we have 5 theory courses and 2 practicum courses. So this is how the course distribution look like. So in year 1, semester 1, you will be getting a basic introduction to psychology, learning about some subdisciplines of psychology like cognitive psychology, developmental across lifespan. And then you will also gaining some basic research and writing skills in form of critical thinking, academic writing, and statistics. There's 1 practicum course, which is associated with developmental psychology. So here you get to interview, observe people in different lifespan and apply theories which you have read in the theory course there. Semester 2 has 5 theory courses. So here a lot of sub-disciplines of psychology, including social, educational, environmental, which is now getting a lot of emphasis, brain and behavior, and then continuing study of stats. Here we have 2 practical courses, one associated with social psychology and other with educational psychology. So for example, I was teaching educational psychology. So we had activities around, how do you observe teachers in the classroom and help them improve the quality of teaching? How do you assess children, whether they're suitable for the classrooms, and suggest strategies to improve their learning? So you learn to do a lot of observation, testing, case study materials. So that's something you will get to do a lot in practical. Then we come to year 2. Again, we have 2 semesters. Here we have 5 core courses in semester 3. So there are 3 theory courses and 2 practical. And semester 4, again, 5 core courses, 3 theory and 2 practical. This is a time you will get to start choosing electives. So there are no electives in year 1, but Professor Derek will talk to you about how in year 2, what are the electives available and how you go about choosing them. So the core courses, you can look at it. Now they are more specialized field of psychology, like counseling psychology, forensic psychology, research methods core. And then in semester 4, the courses like clinical psychology, organizational psychology, and qualitative research. So in each of these semesters, we have practicums. For example, in semester 3, we have a practicum with counseling psychology. So you will actually learn basic counseling skills, interviewing skills, case formulation, case conceptualization, ethics in psychology. Similarly, we have a practicum for research methods and quantitative. Then in semester 4, you get practicums with industrial and qualitative. So aim is to give you varied type of practicums. So you get exposure to different fields, what sort of work happens, what sort of research happens. So you feel more equipped in different years with different skills. This is our year 3. So here the number of core courses are limited, largely because you will get to do a lot more electives here. So we have 1 theory course in semester 5 and 2 practicums. And same with semester 6, there's 1 theory course and 2 practicums. If you can see on my slide, you will see 2 small asterisks. This is just to donate. We also have a facility of honors thesis, but this is only restricted to very small group of students. We can go into criteria if you're interested in knowing, but this is something happens in year 3. And this is a place where you can actually learn to do a lot of your original research work. So I stop here and I hand it over to Dean.
Thank you. So she mentioned research. I'll also make a note that one of the things we're doing here at JGU is we're very close to opening up a new psychology research laboratory. This is really designed for both research and for student instruction. And so our plan is that during that 3rd semester for the research methods quantitative, a good portion of that practicum will be done in the laboratory itself. We have various equipment that students can utilize. Presumably they'll get to design a simple experiment, maybe recruit some of their friends or others to come in and act as subjects. So research is something that we really put a lot of emphasis on here at JGU. And I think it's actually one of the ways that distinguishes us from other programs out there. There's a lot of really good psych programs all over India, but the opportunity to engage in research, whether it's through the research center, or excuse me, the research laboratory, the research centers that we have here on campus, or with faculty, all of whom are research active. Those opportunities are rather rare at the undergraduate level, but it's something that we really try to ensure that for those students that have an interest in research, those opportunities are available to them. So let me just continue on and so as you can see from the presentation, right, you really get a diverse understanding of psychology across all 3 years. And that's intentional, right? We really want all of our students to have a really broad but deep understanding of the psychological sciences. This includes both knowledge and skill-based learning. But it's not always just about psychology. We know that students have other interests as well. And so during your 2nd year, you will have the opportunity to take what we call general elective or cross-listed elective courses. And once again, I hope everybody can see this. So here's the idea, is some students, you may have an interest in business or law or philosophy or international affairs. So during that second year, you will have the opportunity to take courses from different schools in order to fulfill the credits required for graduation. Now, for most of these, they're not all the same 4 credits that we offer within JSPC. So you'll usually end up taking 2 to 3 courses each semester during the second and third semester. So you may end up taking somewhere between 4 and 6 cross-listed elective courses. And I'm not going to take the time to necessarily read all of these, but I will kind of scroll through it so you can get an idea of some of the courses that are available. On the left is the name of the course. On the right is the school that offers it. So this is our business school up at the top. And you can see B2B marketing, services marketing, etc. JIBS is our Jindal Institute of Behavioral Sciences. They are our academic partner, and it is with JIBS that we are actually opening up this new psychology research laboratory. Working with JIBS, we are also, meaning the school, is also beginning to offer a master's degree in applied psychology beginning this fall. And so JIBS has a lot of really eminent psychologists associated with it, and they have a whole number of psychology courses that they offer. So while these are general elective courses, you can take it from any school you choose. I suspect that at least some of our students may want to take additional psychology courses, which is certainly their prerogative if they so choose. So introduction to victimology, neuromarketing, personal development, the psychology of media, psychology of peace and conflict. So again, you can see that there's a whole series of courses that are offered through the Institute of Behavioral Sciences. Okay, next we have the School of Business and Finance. So if you're interested in wealth management or investment banking, right, optimization and finance, we have those available. The environmental sciences, so introduction to ecology, wildlife and forestry, sustainable development, water science and policy, urban sustainability. Next, we have international affairs. So here we do have some language courses that are available. If you want to learn Arabic, you can certainly do so. Globalization of education, India's role in UN peacekeeping, the politics of civil wars, history, writing, maritime policies, etc. Next, we have art and architecture. So surrealism, philosophical investigation, sketching, etc. Next, we have some of our institutes that are available here on campus. So one, we have a primer on experimental research designs. Again, for those that are really interested in learning more about research. Basic psychometrics. So psychometric refers to specific psychology research that's really dealing with numbers and statistics. We have research writing, Japanese, French, Spanish. So again, if you want to take a foreign language course, that's certainly available to you. Through liberal arts and humanities, we have, what do we got? Migration and citizenship. Believe, obey, fight, European right-wing regimes, culinary functions, international conflict. Next, we have global politics. So microeconomics of international development, health system financing, evaluation methods, coolies in capitalism. Not quite sure what that is, but it sounds interesting. Geographic information systems. The law school, which is our largest school on campus. JG was actually founded based on its law school. And I'll note in passing that QS World Rankings has also designated our law school as the #1 private law school in all of India. So they have a lot of courses that are available, law, lawyers, and justice, natural resources, art and creativity in a globalizing world, law, legality, and anatomy of religious conflict in modern India, capitalism and cosmology, human rights and world order, cannabis decriminalization, human rights and lawyering, women's rights as humans' rights, etc. So again, any of these would be open to students with the caveat that you're still taking core courses. So obviously they has to be compatible with your schedule. But as long as there's no conflict with regard to the day and time these courses are offered, you're able to take any of these general elective courses that you so choose. So again, it's a great way to kind of expand your knowledge beyond just psychology and sort of delve into those interests that you may have at a personal level. Finally, at the end of your second year, you are now going to make a decision. All right, and this refers to what we call our tracks of study. Basically, these are just specializations, okay? And right now we have 3 specializations. So first track is experimental forensic, then counseling, education, and industrial organization. So if you have an interest in one of these tracks, the idea is that we're going to offer each semester somewhere around 10 or 12, maybe 14 elective courses, track-specific elective courses, and you get to pick and choose those courses that you're interested in. Now, why this is so valuable and why I think students are so interested is it really allows you to customize or personalize the coursework that you take based on personal interest and long-term professional goals. So just to give you an example of some of the courses that will possibly be offered. Now, I want to be clear here. The general elective courses that I just showed you, those are being offered this semester, or excuse me, rather the upcoming fall semester. Many of those will probably be available when you reach your second year, but not all, right? Elective courses, they are that. They're elective. It depends on the faculty and who's offering what. So it is going to change semester by semester in terms of their availability. The same is true for these track-specific courses. These are just some general courses that have been offered at JGU in the past, and courses that some of our own faculty have expressed interest in teaching. But I'm not saying that each of these courses will be available each semester. Again, this is really meant to be illustrative of the types of courses that will be available within each of these tracks. So on the experimental forensic side, right, experimentation versus forensic criminal psychology. Human cognition, advanced experimental design, health psychology, sensation and perception, research ethics, neurocognition and neuroplasticity. And then moving more into the forensic side, juvenile delinquency and victim psychology, criminology, forensic science, finance criminology, criminal psychology, psychology of individual differences, cultural and indigenous psychology, gender psychology, male and female psychology, nature versus nurture, history and systems of psychology. On the counseling education track, it might include community psychology, happiness in the workplace, the art of listening, attachments and intimacy and relationships, application of psychology to enhance human potential, the psychology of subjective well-being, penology and its victimological discourse, family and domestic violence, family systems thinking, positive psychology, again, male and female psychology, nature, nurture, health psychology, psychology of individual differences, cultural and indigenous psychology. So you'll notice that there is some overlap, and that's because some of these courses probably are going to have interest beyond the specific track, right? You may simply want to take a course on cultural indigenous psychology, independent of whether you want to study experimental counseling or organization behavior, for instance. To finish up here, special remedial education, teaching kids best practices, gender psychology, and feminist psychology. Finally, on the industrial organization track, and again, this is really for those interested in working in the world of business and industry, human resource management, humor as a tool for business success, organizational development and management of change, conflict management in organizations, compensation and benefits, competency mapping, cross-cultural business behavior, introduction to principles of management, human resource management, information systems, business communication and etiquette, psychology at work, behavioral economics, and again, gender psychology, feminist psychology, psychology of individual differences, and cultural and indigenous psychology. All right, so the goal here is at the end of that third year then, again, you really have a broad education. By the time that you graduate, you're going to have a transcript that shows 20 plus psychology courses. You'll have 11 practicums. Again, while we're not going to talk about it today, you will have internship experience. So I really believe that when our students complete their degree at the end of year 3, our students are going to be highly competitive, whether you want to directly enter the job market or whether you plan on going on for a postgraduate degree, a master's or a PhD. Our students are really going to have the transcript. They're going to have not just the knowledge, but the skills, the experience, and the exposure that's really going to allow them to make an informed decision with respect to what they want to do next. What do they want to pursue? Probably in psychology, but perhaps beyond psychology. Again, this degree was really great preparation. If you want to go to law school or business school or any other, again, this bachelor's degree in psychology will really sort of prepare the way for you forward. So with that said, that is our overview, and it looks like we got a few more students, so welcome to everybody. We're really excited to have you on board today, and we look forward to engaging with you more moving forward. So Kanika, unless you have anything else, I think we can just kind of open it up to questions at this point.
So I just want to say, don't feel intimidated with the big course, which Professor Derek has shown. These are elective courses. So these are just to give you options. You have to only select quite a small number of them and work on it. So at the end of the day, don't feel intimidated. Oh my God, there's so much to do in 3 years. It's not really a lot. We have planned things. So it's, you can take slow, you can learn, but also enjoy your time at the campus.
Yeah, and on that, I'll just make one last point. So again, what you're doing is 5 theory courses and 2 practicums each semester, except semester 1, right? You're brand new college students. We want to give you a little bit of a break. So you only have 1 practicum your first semester. But as an aside, and to sort of follow up on what Kanika just said, academics is important, but it's not the end all be all. You are college students, you're living on campus. This is a residential campus. And so there's a lot going on here at the university. For those that haven't seen it yet, it's really beautiful. It truly is. There's a lot of exercise opportunities available, sporting opportunities. So if you like cricket or football or basketball or tennis, we have lots of opportunities available. The university really does a great job in bringing in things for students as well. This includes movies, it includes musical artists that come to the campus quite regularly. It might be plays and other types of production. So beyond this classroom, beyond the academics, again, it's really about that overall experience, being part of something bigger than yourself. And I think JGU really offers a really intellectually vibrant campus and culture in which students will be exposed. All right, so don't be shy. If anybody has a question, you're welcome to stick it in the chat box, or preferably, I love seeing faces, so you're welcome to turn on your camera and ask a question out loud as well.
So I was wondering, when do we need to arrive at campus?
Sure. So you should have just received an email, literally within just the last day or two, from the JGU registrar. They have outlined the return to campus, or the coming to campus for the first time, as the case may be. So first day of campus is August 1st, and students will begin to arrive on July 26th. So this was sort of a notice. You will receive detailed information in terms of when you are expected to come specifically, meaning a first-year JSPC student. They'll give you an arrival date for that point.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, if you could put up your hand for us, it might be a little easier for us to keep track. But Samira, was that you?
Sir, that's Devyani.
Hi, Devyani.
Hi, sir, I actually wanted to know if we have an academic calendar for the year. So it would be sort of easy for us to, schedule our future flights and everything.
Sure, understood. And that will be coming out hopefully within the next week or so, but we do not have one yet, Devyani. But again, I can tell you right now that classes begin August 1st. And again, students will begin arriving July 26th. So you'll be somewhere between the 26th and the 30th in terms of your arrival. Hopefully we'll have that calendar soon. I know there's a lot of other students who would like to see it as well. Kanika, looks like we have a chat. Do you want to answer?
Yeah.
They're asking about the honors thesis.
Yes. Hi, Lekha, I read your question. So honors thesis, there are a lot of factors we take into account. Your performance for the first 2 years, your CGPA score, your interest area, the faculty available, the seats available with them. So a combination of these factors help us decide who get thesis, how many students we can take it. So that's how the procedure is. It's not a simple criteria, it's a combination of multiple criteria that defines who get the thesis. I would say don't worry about it right now. You have first 2 years to actually work hard and learn about courses. I would encourage you to start thinking about thesis, year 2, maybe semester 4 onwards. That would be a good time to start thinking and inquiring about thesis.
Yeah, if you don't mind, let me just provide a little background on that. So all of our students will do a psychology essay paper their final semester. You pick a topic and you're going to write on it. You should be an expert at that point. The honors thesis is for those students who want to go above and beyond that. So this will actually be 2 semesters, 5 and 6, and you will work directly with a faculty member. Presumably they'll allow you the opportunity to design and implement your own experiment. That's the idea here. But as Professor Kanika just indicated, this is something that we're sort of reserving for our top students. There will be various criteria that will be used to determine which students will be able to do it. And certainly we'll provide more information on that as we move forward. All right, well, let's just go ahead and answer a few more. Anjali?
Anjali, you're muted.
Good evening, sir and ma'am. Am I audible?
You are.
Yes, you
I wanted to ask how many cross electives are we allowed to choose from?
So the cross electives are during the second year. And essentially you need 16 credits of cross elective courses, okay? All of our courses, the theory courses are 4 credits, the practicums are 2 credits, right? We can do that, we're a school, we control how many credits all of our courses are. But there's different credit systems across the various schools. So with those cross electives, they vary. Some are 1.5, some are 2, 3, 4, and even 4.5 credits, okay? So the way we've set it up is students have to take a minimum of 2, a maximum of 3 courses each semester, 3 and 4, and a minimum of 8, a maximum of 9 credit points. Okay, so again, depending on how you do it, right, you may do 2 4-credit courses, you may do a 3, 3, and a 2, right? It's up to the student. So you'll end up taking between 4 and 6 general elective courses based on the credits for each of those. And just so you all know what these credit points mean, the UGC mandates that 1 credit points equals 1 credit hour per week. So over a 15-week semester, that's 15 weeks, or excuse me, 15 hours of instruction. Again, all of our core courses are 4 credits, so that means 4 hours per week or 60 hours of instruction in total.
And I also wanted to ask how to go about the internships and how do we get them?
Sure. So again, we have a full session devoted specifically to that. So I'm going to leave it to them to discuss it. I know you're anxious, but I promise we'll provide all the details for you at that point.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think, Derek, if I can ask, so just to put anxiety at rest, the university supports you through the entire process of internship. So it's not up to the students to find things, but the university and the school thoroughly support you in the process of finding the organization, settling down, and all other logistics around it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sharon?
Yeah, hi everyone. Actually, sir, my question was related to the track-specific courses. So I believe we have to do 8 of those. So could we mix and match between the 3 track-specific courses, or do we have to stick to one track-specific course and select 8 from those?
Well, as you've seen, there's already going to be overlap between those different tracks. And so we're going to kind of wait and see. I will be honest with you. We haven't begun our 3rd year yet, right? There's only one batch ahead of you. So some of the details of these track-specific courses remain to be worked out. It's clear that not every student's interest falls within one of these 3 tracks, right? If you want to do, say, sports psychology, right? The question I've had in the past is, well, what do I do? But what we're trying to do is to ensure that there's enough breadth within each of the tracks that even if your specific interest may not be discretely within one of those tracks, there will still be enough courses available that you could fulfill your interest. So I know that's not a direct answer, Sharon, but that's the best I could do. Again, there's some details that we need to resolve at a school level as we move forward. But I suspect that there will be options available there for students to, again, the whole point is to try to allow students to take the courses that they're interested in. But we can't have it so wide that students are just grabbing left and right? There has to be some sort of kind of understanding in terms of why you're taking the courses that you are.
All right, thank you so much.
So there's a question from Unnati in the chat box. Her questions is around internships again. So she's asking which summers are we supposed to do internships? Is it after we choose a track specific course or any other time?
Sure. Again, I mean, I don't mean to keep putting you off, guys, but I don't want to answer the questions on internships now, right? We have a whole session devoted. I want to give those faculty that will be leading that session the opportunity to speak to you directly about this. So again, if we could, let's hold off on the questions about internships until that session itself.
Thanks,
No need to apologize. No need to apologize. But again, I just don't want you to think I'm trying to be difficult. I'm really not. But if I answer your questions now, what's the point of coming to their session, right?
Some suspense is good. We're creating suspense for the last session.
There you go. Absolutely.
Unnati, for a question, you have written chat box.
Yes, ma'am, I do. I'll just switch on my camera. Yeah. Hi, Derek sir. Hi, Kanika ma'am. It's amazing to see both of you. So could you guys walk me through how the teaching environment in JSPC would look like? Because all the core courses and all the general electives, the choice we are able to choose from were really beautiful. I'd really like to know how the professors how the environment in JSPC is, the teaching environment.
Kanika, you want to take that?
Okay. So let me start with the year 1 because that's the first year you're going to enter. So it's largely core courses. We don't have any elective. You will be allotted to one of the sections. So we are planning to have around 6 sections for the year 1. So you will be one of these sections allocated, and then the whole section will be taking all classes together. So you have a proper timetable. You will be told which class, which time, which is your room number. So that's where you're supposed to be, and your classes will taking place. The classes here, I think I've always talked during my interviews, are slightly different than what we are used to in Jsbc classroom. So we are less about rote learning, but more about practical, experiential, critical learning. So while we have lectures and instructors coming and giving you knowledge, but equally the emphasis on participation. So we encourage students to participate in forms in taking part in topics which are being discussed, getting new insight, getting new material, whether it's in form of a movie or a case they've seen or people around them. A lot of readings, a lot of critical reflections, case discussions. So that's how the classroom will look like. It's a 2-hour classroom. You have a fixed timetable, you know which class to happen with it, and it's a whole section having one class together.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
And let me just add on to that a little bit. So for the school, we will never exceed 40 students per section. Not all schools on campus do that, but I was pretty adamant early on that we can't have more than 40. Because as Professor Kanaka was just saying, it's not rote learning. It's not just simply talking and have a student write it down. It's really more of a discourse, it's a discussion. We want our students to understand at a conceptual level what we're really referring to. And I know from my own experience that when your class gets above about 40 students, student behavior changes. They begin to self-inhibit, they're much less willing to engage and talk. So it was really important that we keep their section numbers down. So right now our sections are about 36, 37 students. I suspect that your incoming batch will be about the same. So it really does allow you to kind of not just interact with the professor, but to get to know those other students within your section as well. As an aside, one of the things that we do here, which I think is a little unique, is your sections will be altered each year as well, each academic year. I think it's important for our students as psychology students, developing interpersonal skills is important. And I don't like the idea of students coming in and essentially interacting day to day in a classroom with the same 35 to 40 students across 3 years. I don't think that's helpful to anybody. So each academic year, each fall, those sections will be reorganized. So it means you're going to meet new people, you're going to make new friends, you're going to have new people that you're in a classroom with. And I think in the long term, again, that's ultimately beneficial for our students. So yeah, I think, again, I'd go back to the university as well. You know, it's a really modern university, which I like. We have a lot of brand new classrooms where we have the new tech, right? The touch screens and all that type of stuff. So I think that there's a really good opportunity here for, again, not to just sit there and listen and to write everything down or type it as the case may be. But again, it's really about that engagement. It's about having a discourse with their students. That's something that we really push at a school level.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're very welcome.
I just have one more question, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah. I'd heard from the other schools, but I wanted to know if it was there in JSPC too. Is there, are each of the students assigned a mentor? Because I think it's really nice to have someone walk you through your potential and kind of make you realize what opportunities you're supposed to grab and what you're not supposed to grab, etc. So do we have that mentor-mentee relationship in JSPC?
Yeah, great question. Kanaka, if you don't mind, I'm going to take this and I'll let you take the next one. So we actually do this at 2 levels. One, all of our incoming students, you will be assigned a faculty advisor. So the idea is that you don't need to, if you have a question, you don't need to think about who do I talk to. You will have a faculty advisor always there and willing to answer any questions that you have. Secondly, as the second batch of JSPC, you guys have a little bit of a slight advantage over our first batch because we will have peer mentors for you as well. So these will be students from the 2021 batch. Those that volunteer will act as peer mentors and they can give you insight and guidance. To their, unfortunately, we'll say, this first batch, they did not have that. And it's hard, right? A lot of the learning, a lot of the instruction in terms of how to be a college student occurs through that peer interaction, right? It's the older students talking to the younger students. And we recognize that. That's the way every college in the world works. And so our first batch, they did have a slight disadvantage that they didn't have those older students to provide that input and guidance. So for your incoming batch, you will. So again, you'll have both a faculty advisor and peer mentor, which will really be there to help sort of give you the insight and the input that you may need in terms of, okay, well, they say this, but what does that really mean, right? What do I need to do to prepare? So yes, it's a great question. and something that we're really working hard to ensure our students have available to them. All right, Unadi, am I saying it right?
Thank you so much. I think my network is just a little bit here and there.
Okay, you're very welcome. All right, well, we'll see, we have a chat, but why don't we go back? Aditi's been waiting for a bit, so yes, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Hi. Yes, you are.
Good evening, ma'am, also. So apart from the core courses, supposedly after taking an elective course, my interest has grown in a topic. Let's say, for example, cyber psychology. So in that case, how am I supposed to go about it? Like, how further would I be able to explore in that case?
I'm not quite sure I followed that. Kanika, did you understand the question? You're muted.
Aditi, your question is that if you have interest in cyber psychology and you want to explore it further, what are the opportunities provided by GGU? Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Aditi, I think as Professor Derek has already talked about, we have a set of core courses. We have also cross electives and the track specific electives. I think a part of cyber psychology will come under forensic psychology, but again, it depends on who's the faculty available and what are the courses floated that year. So that's one opportunity. Are they being floated by JSPC? Usually JSPC also have a lot of courses around cyber psychology or forensic psychology. Those are available. Sometimes it may not be directly available, but we have an open ear policy where students are free to put in suggestions, and we can work around that. If not this year, the coming years, if something like that can be included. We also have a lot of internship partners. Again, you will get to know. So there also you have a lot of chance to expand, explore and expand your area of interest. If not in the school, through these collaborations, you will get to learn more about that area. Derek, do you have something more to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think that all sounds great, but I do want to ground this a little bit, that those opportunities may or may not be available at DT, right? Psychology is huge, right? Cyber psychology is a brand new field, right? It's only been around for 5, 6, 7 years. So again, we simply don't have the ability to cover every single aspect of psychology, both in terms of teaching and research. So I agree with everything that Professor Koenig has said. We certainly will try to make opportunities available, and there may be courses that are taught at particular semesters that align with your interest. But again, it's just too big of a field to say that we guarantee or we somehow will ensure that whatever your interest, there will be a class that aligns with that. There may or there may not. But what we have covered are the major domains of psychology, right? All of those are covered. But when you get into some of the more esoteric, a little more, those that are a little further afield, it may or may not, depending upon the particular faculty and the particular semester in question. You're welcome.
Lekha is up. I think, Lekha, you have put your question in the chat box also. This is about the reading material, whether university provides it or you have to acquire them independently. So for all the core courses, I can say that whatever material is prescribed to you, whatever is our main textbook, copies are made available by the library. We usually have a hard copy as well as a soft copy. So that is available. But there's also option. I know some students are interested in acquiring their individual copies, want to have their own copy, but they want to write, scribble, and do things. University can help you also purchase it, but you're also free to purchase it from any of the online platform or the bookstores you are aware of. But some copies are always made available by the library for the core courses that we have.
Yeah, I will say for my own courses, I usually provide students with the PDF of the text. Although again, just to give you insight in terms of different teaching styles, I don't teach from a textbook. I never have, never in my entire career. I don't like that idea. For me, textbooks are there as a backup. If a student needs additional information, a textbook can be utilized to dig deeper into it. But I have particular topics that I want to teach on, and so all of my exams are always based on lecture material, right? Other faculty have a different approach. I know some faculty that go chapter by chapter through a textbook. And again, that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing, right? We have a lot of faculty at JSPC, and we have a lot of different approaches. We have a lot of different teaching philosophies. And again, that's a good thing because it allows different faculty to kind of utilize those techniques that align with their own approach, the way that they want to teach best. So again, every faculty is going to come at it from a slightly different perspective. Alrighty, folks, anybody have any final questions? Anything we can answer for you? Well, I will encourage you, and we'll send out some notices again next week. Next Thursday is really the big night. It'll be your chance to really see all of the faculty together. And I will say that even from the faculty perspective, this is important because we have a lot of new hires, including Dr. Deepak you see here. So this will be really the first opportunity for many of our faculty to sort of virtually see one another. So I do hope that you'll join us next Thursday evening where we have a chance to introduce the school and the faculty directly to our students. All right, so Nadi has one more question on research methods. So research methods is just that. It has to do with the research side in terms of experimental design, implementation, and data analysis. So in your first year, you're going to take 2 semesters of statistics. So you're learning how to analyze data. Year 2, you have both quantitative and qualitative research methods. Both of these are used extensively in psychology. Most of you are probably more familiar with the quantitative. So this would be designing an experiment or doing some sort of correlational analysis. So again, you're going to get firsthand experience in how to design and implement an experiment. Qualitative, though, is equally used in psychology. So maybe you have a big database of letters or other type of written material. So you could do what's called critical textual analysis, where you go in and you look at that sort of database, but you're basing it on specific phrases or particular key terms. So again, you're using a more qualitative approach in order to analyze your data. This could also involve interviews and other types of things. So across those 2 semesters, 3 and 4, again, you're going to learn about the various techniques that are involved and how the research is really done as a psychologist. And just to clarify here, you don't have to be a researcher to do research, right? If you go into education psychology or criminal forensic psychology, right, you still may use research techniques, research methodologies as part of your approach. As I mentioned earlier, every single one of our faculty members is research active. They do research, be it quantitative or qualitative. And Kanika, if you want to add on to that, you're welcome to.
Yes, so I think I will just add just one point. So just to make it clear that at the start of every semester, for whatever courses you are doing, you will get a course guide. So the course guide has very clear description, what will you be learning, what topics will be covered, what sort of assignments you have to do, what will be a week by week class schedule, the textbook. So all that information, so it's not that what you have seen is the final thing. That's all you will be getting for 3 years. Each semester, you get a more detailed information about the courses you're going to study, the assignment, examination, and all that is provided to you at start of semester. And we also will be sending that information to you soon, in possibly last week of July or first week of August before you start your classes.
Yeah, and as part of this pre-immersion process as well, again, we have 2 events. You're going to hear directly from at least some of the course instructors related to that semester 1. So you're going to hear about cognitive psychology and developmental psychology, the statistics, and the writing course. So again, those instructors will be here to kind of give you input and guidance, just to, again, kind of help you prepare and get sort of thinking about life as a college student. You know, I tell our students all the time, and I'll tell you this when I see you at commencement, but college is very different from high school. It really is. And so a lot of your first year of college is learning how to be a college student. And it's an important skill that you need to develop. The second important thing that you do in college is figure out what gets you excited, right? What do I want to do with my life, right? Our goal, our job here as a school is to provide you the opportunity, the exposure, but ultimately it's your job as a college student to make those decisions, to figure out what do I want to do next, right? What do I want to pursue? Pollock, regarding the credits we have to collect, how we will be assigned each credit. So again, the courses, you really don't have to do anything. You're going to be assigned these courses and you go in, and of course you have to pass those courses in order to get the credit. But within each course, what are the assignments? What are the exams? All of that will be explained to you, as Professor Conica just indicated. Each semester you will receive a course manual, and each course manual is specific to the instructor teaching, right? So for instance, right, you're going to take developmental psychology, but there's going to be 6 sections. Of those 6 sections, you're going to have 3 or 4 course instructors. So what we ensure as a school is that across all of those sections, the assignments and the exams are done in a roughly similar fashion. That is, I don't want some professors being really hard graders and some professors being really easy graders. We have mechanisms in place that all of those instructors will communicate with one another, and they will ensure that all of the grading is done in an equally, roughly similar manner. That whatever assignments are done, again, that they're done in a roughly similar way. And I'm using the term here, roughly similar, for a reason, because each professor comes at it from a slightly different perspective, right? They may not cover exactly the same material. They may not do exactly the same assignment in the exact same way. But that allows each professor, and again, their personality, their take on the topic, for them to kind of personalize it, which is important. But at the end of the day, we ensure that whatever section you're in, again, everybody's being graded in roughly the same way, which is important. You know, we don't want some students to say, hey, my section was more difficult than this section over here, right? That will not occur. All of the sections are going to be done in approximately the same way. All right, and again, all of that will be made clear to you your first week of class when the instructor shares with you and discusses their course manual.
So if I can add something. So Palak, the credits are not same as grades. So what you get based on your assignments and exams are basically grades. Credits are pre-assigned to the course, and as Professor Derek said, once you clear the course, those credits are automatically added to your transcript. So just maybe I think once we go through the course, the various courses in the upcoming program, you will be better able to appreciate the difference between credits and grades.
Yeah, and again, I think this is normal for an incoming student to have these questions, but I do think it will become pretty crystal clear for you your first week of class.
This question from BK about the arrival date. Yes, so we can repeat itself. So Derek, if you don't mind, I can repeat it. So as of now, we haven't received the exact date for the first year JSPC students, but we know between 26th July to 1st August, different batches are supposed to arrive on the campus. You will get the proper email from the office telling which is your arrival date, your arrival slot, about the accommodation, the rooms available. All this information will be passed on to you very soon. Hopefully in next 2 weeks is what we expect that information will be out.
Yeah, and so we're going to have about 8,000 students on campus. So obviously we don't want everybody coming on the same day. So yeah, you will get a specific date that JSP students are scheduled to arrive on July 28th or 29th or whatever it is. So that information will be provided to you shortly. And before that time, just to kind of foresee ahead, you will be provided information on the hostels, right? How do I do that? Who do I live with? So again, all of that information will be provided to you by the registrar over the next few weeks. All right, well, we've reached 5 p.m. So I'm happy to do 1 or 2 more quick questions if there are any. If not, we'll go ahead and finish up.
There's one more person. I think GH has.
Okay, so I don't know. Can you guys hear me? I'm not sure if I locked up or if Kanika locked up.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, great, Gaurav. Thank you. So your question is, will students be allowed to go back during weekends? So as you probably know, we are in a closed campus. We have a front gate and students all have to pass through that. I will say this past spring semester, the students came on campus and they were restricted to the campus. This all had to do with COVID and health concerns. Hopefully, everything will continue to improve. Hopefully, this will not be an issue for fall semester. Hi, Kanika, welcome back. You locked up for a moment. So I will tell you that pre-COVID, the way this worked was students could leave on this semester, but they had to get parental permission. So if you live in, Delhi or somewhere close by, and you wanted to go home for the weekend, that was a possibility. But again, you had to get that parental permission. It is fairly restrictive in terms of student coming and going. Again, pre-COVID, students could leave in the evening, but they had to be back on campus by 11 p.m. I am assuming at this point that those regulations will come back to bear. But of course, in this day and age with COVID and the way it is, it's hard to predict 2 months down the road. We just don't know. So assuming everything continues to improve, I think that will be possible. But if another variant suddenly arises and things gets worse, then I'll have to qualify that and say it just depends on conditions on the ground.
So there was another question about the material and stuff you're supposed to get while you're moving to the hostel. Again, when the email about the hostel accommodation will arrive to you, Ashita, you will be told, where's the accommodation, what will be supplied, and what you have to get in. So the information will be provided to you by the hostel warden. But in addition to that, did you make sure that your healthcare and other facilities are provided in the campus? So we have health centers, your fooding and everything is taken care by the campus. So yes, you will be told what are essential stuff to be brought in with you, and what are the things that can be provided by the campus that are essentially part of the package, and what are as per the need basis. I know hostels, moving and accommodation and everything can be anxiety provoking, but university works really hard to make it as smooth as possible. But as Professor Derek say, every year is thousands of students who are trying to come in. Sometimes it takes slightly more time to work out the logistics.
Yeah, so Samira, if you have a question, you can reach out to Asham Roy, who is CC'd on all of the emails I've sent you. But what I would request is, give it time. All right. I know that there's some anxiety and you want these answers now. But again, the school's been doing this for a long time, right? They know how to provide the information to students and at what point. I promise all of this will be made clear. All of this will be provided to you so you can make your plans and move to campus. Again, they've been doing this for a long time. So that information will be provided. You don't need to be concerned about that.
Usually, Derek, it comes in last 2 weeks, right? Before 2 weeks of starting a semester, all these information starts going out to the student.
Yeah, I think the academic calendar and the information from the registrar, you'll start receiving that over the next week to 2 weeks. And so that will allow you time to make your plans, your flight information, all that other stuff will be coming out shortly. But ultimately, just so you know the process here, these are not school decisions, right? We can't provide you that information. That's a university level decision that ultimately that information will come from the school or the university registrar. All right. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you for coming out. Really, it's saw a few faces out there. If anybody wants to turn on their camera before we finish up, again, I love seeing new students, and you know, so please take a moment. And you know, I appreciate you guys sort of taking the time to join us today. I hope that it's been informative. I hope we've been able to answer some of your questions. And certainly we look forward to seeing you here physically present on campus. So yeah, the last 2.5 years has been tough. And we really look forward to getting back to a full-time residential college where, you know, we get to work with the students and see them day to day. For myself, I've been doing this a long time and I still love it. It's still the best part about this job. Everything excluded, it's the students, right? That really was what makes this job, being able to interact with you all. So anyway, for the rest of you, I see a few cameras flipped on. For the rest of you, don't feel shy, but if you don't feel like it, that's all right. Hopefully we'll see you next week, and please take care of yourself. All right, and we got a bunch more of these activities coming up, so I hope you'll join us for the future events as well. So for the rest of you, please say hello, and we'll finish up. So good night, good luck. Everybody take care, and we'll see you back here in a week. All right, Kriti.
Thank you, sir.
Nice to see you. Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. So it looks like we got some of our faculty joining us as well. So Deepak, you're welcome to say hello. So you'll get to know some of these folks as we move forward in time.
See you soon on the campus.
I'm so excited to meet you all.
So you as well. It's nice to see you. And we'll get a chance for you to meet everybody next Thursday.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for that.
So fantastic. All right, well, Samira, Himalay, Palak, Lunati, thank you again. And yeah, Kriti, I look forward to seeing you next week. So just to make some quick introductions, Professor Kanika, Professor Deepak. So yeah, this